Okay, guys, I'm very excited. I got to play Dead Rising 4 again. I cannot get enough of this game, and now we're going to talk to Bryce about it. Bryce is the executive producer of the product. Now, Bryce, this is a homecoming, a celebration for Dead Rising. So let's start there.
Well, it's the 10th anniversary of the Dead Rising series, and we decided to go back to our roots. We're going back to Willamette. We're bringing back Frank West, and we brought a whole new story with it as well. So it's 16 years after the original outbreak. Zombrex doesn't work anymore. Frank's back in Willamette to find out what's going on.
And what's going on is killing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of zombies.
Yeah, I would go thousands and thousands and thousands of zombies. Yes, yes. Yeah, no, that's a big thing about our game. We love to be the fun game, and that's what we focus on. So the more zombies you can kill, the funner it can be.
But there's interesting ways of killing zombies now. I mean, kill with skill was a gimmick a while back. You've brought it back as sort of meaningful. It's just part of the gameplay.
Yeah, 100%. Like, we have hundreds of weapons, and then we have the combos on top of that, and now we brought in exosuits. So the amount of fun we have as a developer working on this and doing different ways of killing zombies has been incredible, and we laugh all the time at the office. It's so much fun to make this game.
I thought the Christmas theme was brilliant for so many reasons, but what was the thinking behind setting this game sort of in the pre-Christmas season?
Well, again, 10th anniversary, going back to our roots. The original game was all about consumerism. What's more consumerism than the holidays? So setting it right around Black Friday when the shopping is the craziest is the perfect time to do this game. But it also allows us to really dress up this game in ways that you don't see in other games.
Now, some people think zombies survival horror. There's no survival horror element of this game at all. It's straight up action, correct? Right down to the controls.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we are fun. It's a serious story, but you get to play the way you want to. And Frank is, we like to call him is the original badass. He's the unlikely hero. We always kind of play around with the idea that maybe I could do that. And that's the way we always play up Frank as well. I've always said that, hey, you know, Frank is a guy you want to meet at a bar, have a couple of drinks with, because he's going to have the best stories you've ever heard. But you're never going to introduce him to your friends and family.
Now, there were obvious design challenges, fun aside. You're very serious about making this game fun. So what was the biggest design challenge in putting that many zombies on the screen at once and having that many different ways of dispatching them?
Yeah, it's a massive effort to try to pull that off. So it's all about the give and take of what you can do with these systems and deciding what is more important. And we early on decided that huge amount of weapons and huge amount of zombies was the most important thing to us. So that meant we really had to tune and tweak things so we could pull that off in the game. And that's been a huge focus at the beginning of the game before we really got into the developing of the story and the levels.
Now, how do you get a game made that is focused on fun in this era of BAFTA awards and award-winning narratives and sweeping emotional connections? How do you get something like this made?
Well, one way is we work for Capcom. Capcom is an amazing company, and the original series didn't take itself too seriously, so we didn't have to either. And Capcom allows us to play with that and allows us to have a lot of fun. We pull in other Capcom games into our series and don't take it too seriously, and that's been a really great thing. Awesome partner to work with. Love working for Capcom for that reason.
Now, obviously, combat is a big deal, but discovery is also like just walking around, seeing the little Easter eggs you put in, the Street Fighter standees in the comic book store, things like that. What went into designing the maps, and how much of it was, we need to make this functional, and how much of it did we need to make it cool?
Well, yeah, we're always balancing those two things, right? But this game is about the same footprint as Dead Rising 3 in, like, world space, but there's way more to explore. And we want to reward people for exploring. In the previous Dead Risings, we had the timer, which kind of limited your exploration. We've eliminated that in the main campaign, but left it in our multiplayer, so people can go deeper and find more stuff. And that's really what we wanted to push for. The further you go into the environment, further back in the source, the better weapons you'll find.
Now, about the exosuit, when you put it in the game, was it, oh man, we have to find a narrative conceit to explain it, or was it just, screw it, he's got an exosuit?
Yeah, it was a little bit screwed. He had an exosuit. It was a very easy thing to put in the game. There's a paramilitary force in our game right now, and it was a very easy leap in that sense where they had it and they're using it, so Frank found one and started using it himself. So again, we really do try to stay in reality, but we don't take it as seriously as some of the other games.
You added that extra layer with the paramilitary force. All of a sudden, it's like, why am I fighting a guy from the Division in this game? What's the story with those lieutenant, tank characters?
So I can't give you all the story details right now, but I can give you the basics. Really with those guys, we were looking at different ways to play this game and different things that you can do. One of the things that we really got excited about early was it's not set-piece gameplay everywhere you go. These guys are in a world just like you. They have to fight the zombies and you and choose what is the bigger threat as you go along. They're there as a threat, but we also have good survivors in the game and also bad survivors in the game. So you're always going with back and forth of should I save them? What am I going to get out of it? Are they going to turn on me? You never quite know, and that's kind of the fun of it.
Now, was there anything that was just too extreme? No, we can't do that?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, we have a rating, and we want to stick to it. It is a mature rating, but you can go too far, and we found that out. When we were first working on the blood effects in our game, we put a lot of effort into the new decaling of the bloods on Frank and on the zombies in the world. And the first couple of times we got it in there, Frank was red, head to toe. Everything was covered, and we were like, well, yeah, that's too much. It took away from it, but sure made us laugh the first few times we saw it.
So it wasn't that it was too disgusting, so it was distracting.
It was, yeah. You want to make sure it's a balance.
Excuse me, sir. Can I touch your sparkly bat?
Of course you can.
I can't. Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say no.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm going to touch the bat. Oh, it's heavy. This man's bat is very heavy. So you guys made these props? Now, how do you create a masterpiece such as this?
Well, we kind of take some heart and mix it with some of our intuition and mash that together and come up with realistic props. We turn fantasy into reality, And
Did any bodily fluids go into the making of this for authentic?
I actually have a 5-stitch scar from this. Yeah.
So there's actual blood on this Dead Rising.
Oh yeah, all that over there. That's all me.